of darkness, edges pulsing from the sun. Red numbers on the bedside clock keep measuring this borrowed time. Motel Bible in the drawer, remote face down on the sheet. Boots lined up beside the door like they're already on the street. Ice machine hums down the hallway, vending light is buzzing blue. Suitcase leaning on the dresser, folded shirt a line for you. Coffee in a paper cup, gone cold beside this plastic chair. Metal on the chipwood gleaming, just a key on the nightstand there. You were working at the diner, pouring coffee head down low. Name tag crooked on your apron, eyes that looked like they could know. I kept saying I believe it, once the work was finally done. You kept sliding me that quiet smile like there was nowhere left to run. Stayed 3 nights instead of 1, then a week inside that town. Fixed a favor for some people who don't like me hanging around. You said one day you'll get tired of every exit looking same. I just changed the silverware and never answered what's your name. Road keeps all my secrets in the spaces between lights. Every mile another alibi for why I don't stay the night. So I leave the key on the nightstand, bills folded by the phone, room swept clean, no shattered glass, no reason you should hear me go. I don't vanish into sirens, I don't stumble out in flames. I walk out under my own code, already paid in full my name. If you wake and reach beside you, all you'll find is what I planned. Just a made bed and a quiet door and a key on the nightstand. Folder in my jacket pocket says it's time to disappear. Different road, another handshake, someone else will call me dear. Your handwriting on a napkin, pressed in close against my chest. Little arrow toward the future, little map that whispers rest. But a man like me can't rest long where the ground remembers feet, where the same car passes twice and faces learn your daily street. So I smooth that paper flatter, let the ink sink in my skin. Pick the jacket up and listen to the engine calling in. Never sleep where you've been smiling, never linger where you fed. Never let a heart decide the same place as your head. Never offer what the highway couldn't sign with both its hands. Just pay up, leave it tidy, leave a key on the nightstand. So I leave the key on the nightstand, cash folded, light turned low. No confession, no long letter, just the outline where I'd go. I'm the shadow in the mirror that the morning won't remain. But the bed is made and the code is kept and the rest is in your hands. If you wake and feel the distance, just remember who I am. I don't stay where standing still can pull a rolls past the edge of town. Carried lights glow steady, red upholstery, metal brown. Paper ticket in my pocket, one-way print with just my name. Small suitcase by my boots, scuffed from running with this game. 40 page on my knee, pen marks bleeding through the lines. Your first letter in a lining, tucked beside an old design. You're at home with the curtains drawn, halfway through another book. You wake up to an empty hangar where my good coat used to hook. I could have stayed and let the ceiling sag from deals I couldn't dodge. Let the phone keep dragging me out to every quiet parking lot. But there's a road, don't take passengers who don't know what they've signed. I won't drag you through the back doors where I traded peace for time. Every man who plays this table knows the house collects its due. Only choice you'll really keep is whether it takes me or you. I'd rather walk out standing, leave my name still mine to claim, than wait around for some stranger to call my final game. So I bought a ticket out of the game, stamped ones with my own hand, left the keys on the counter like a line cut in the sand. I'm the quiet one that's leaving while the wolves still know my name. Took a seat on this night runner with my back straight in the frame. Power's not in dying, louder is in how you choose your fate. With a ticket out of the game and the price already paid. I remember you by the window, sorting bills in a little stack. Said you didn't need a castle, just a man who'd make it back. Then the pager shook the tabletop, little screen with a simple code. And I saw the way your shoulders tightened when I turned toward the road. That was when I felt the ceiling bowing quiet over our bed. So I circled one small number and I carved it in my head. Sleeper door slides soft and hollow, hallway sways from side to side. Overhead the chrome rag rattles with the weight of what I hide. I could send this folded letter, let it cut you like a wire, or keep the ink right here with me and burn it when the wheels grow tired. So I bought a ticket out of the game, traded noise for steel and night. Left the notes on the kitchen table where they catch the morning light. I'm the man who left in silence before they taught me how to crawl. Took a seat on this night runner, chose my distance, kept my tall. Power's not in staying longest when the walls begin to fall. It's a ticket out of the game and and the strength to take that call. Soft shoes on the carpet, elevator bell gone quiet, fingerprint glass on the door, on the door cold lock blinking like a pilot light. I hang my coat on the back of the same worn leather chair. Desk lamp spills a circle, everything that matters lives in there. Ledger on the desktop, corners curled from too much night. Black ink, sleep until I drag it back into the light. Outside this city shivers like numbers falling on a screen. Inside it's just a ticking clock and what these pages really mean. Columns like a dealer, but the game is stealing bone. Slide a weight from one man's secret onto someone else's home. They bring me trouble in briefcases, folders tied too clean. I make it fade between two lines no other eyes have seen. Names turn into totals, totals into favors old, favors into metal chains that tighten as they grow. I keep the score so quiet that the room forgets to breathe, but every final total writes itself beneath my sleeve. I don't shout, I tilt the scales until they lean just right. Every choice becomes a number staring back at me tonight. This is the ledger of the night, where every favor has a cost, where I balance out the shadows so no one knows what they lost. You see the suits and silence, think it's simple holding sway. There's a name on page 11, ink still wet against the grain. Same hand that once pulled me up out of some forgotten stain. We split cash on bare staircases, laughed low in borrowed halls. He walked point, I watched angles, checking doors and quiet walls. Now his letters sit beside a song that doesn't match the rest. Too much heat on what he's taking, too much weight across his chest. My thumb rides the margin where the pen is meant to slide, and all the rules I built for breathing push against my pride. Never mark a debt you're not prepared to see come due. Never let a promise honest, live where it can testify on you. Never take a meeting where the hallway sees your face. Never love a chair so much you can't afford to leave the place. You can spare one name, maybe, but the numbers never sleep. What you push out of the ledger comes back twice as deep. This is the ledger of the night, under lamp and double lock, where I file away the stories no one tells around the clock. You think you want this quiet, think you want this careful throne, but every name you keep in shadow etches deeper in your bones. I'm the hand that keeps it steady while the city burns so bright, fading nerves and sleepless eyes. To the ledger of the night. This clam paints a circle on this old dark wooden grain. Blinds cut up the city lights in silver crooked lanes. Your jacket's on the backrest, you're leaning like you're 10 feet tall. Boot heel tapping at the carpet like you're ready for a brawl. There's a ledger by my elbow, every page a quiet scar. Safe door sitting half a turn from opening too far. I turn the key inside the lock, let the hallway voices fade. In this room we talking truths about the deals that we have made. You've been running little errands, bringing envelopes and names. Think the muscle and the noise is how you carve out your own claim. But the real weight sits in numbers, who gets cut and who gets fed, which loose end gets tied in silence, which bad promise stays unpaid. There was once a man before you who kept pushing past the mark, tried to bend the code for profit and brag loud about the dark. I still sign his old agreements, he looks back from this same glass. He's a warning in the margins, how fast golden boys can pass. You're staring at the skyline like it's something you can own, but power's just the things you carry and the lines you leave alone. I'm the hand that draws the lines you don't cross. Quiet ink, heavy coat, measure profit and loss. If you wanna breathe up here, you don't gamble my trust. You move light around the borders, keep your temper in the dust. You can swagger in the alley your habits, dates, and debts. Every shortcut that you've taken, every time you've placed a bet. You thought nobody saw the extra stack you slipped inside your coat, but the city keeps a ledger, and I balance every note. I don't shout, I don't go hunting just to sharpen up my teeth. I move pieces when I have to, and I sign what stays beneath. If I let you keep on climbing with that storm behind your eyes, you bring thunder to this doorway, neither one of us survives. So listen when an older man who's carried iron weight says the hardest part of power is the anger you don't wake. You don't prove that you're a legend by how quickly streets turn red. You prove you understand the code by walking back from where it led. I'm the hand that draws the lines you don't cross. Quiet pen, steady heart, counting every hidden cost. If you want your name remembered, there's a price you adjust. You stay just behind the edges, keep your hunger under trust. You can play the eager soldier, you can polish up your gloss, but remember who controls. You don't cross. You can polish, you don't cross. You don't cross, you don't cross. You don't cross, you don't cross, you don't cross. Don't cross, you don't cross. Motel key on the table, plastic gloves in the trash, thin towel by the bathroom, bleach biting through the past, suitcase half open, shirts folded dark and plain, number scratched on a matchbook if they ever speak my name. Ice machine in the hallway, breathing like a tide lung. Neon from the diner stains the curtains fainting on. You're somewhere down this highway making noise you call a wind. I'm the quiet call they make when they want the dark drawn in. Stories, kid, I just wipe the ink. I don't chase the spotlight, I just stand beside the brink. Loud men love the mirrors, love the way their shadows grow, till reflections start demanding more than they can ever hold. I'm moving after footsteps when the shouting's burned away. Tidy up what's left of all the legends of the day. No trophies on my dresser, no pictures on the wall, just a jacket on a hanger and a number they can call. You think the world remembers who talked hardest in the room, but names fade faster than the circles from a glass and cheap perfume. When your noise draws heat and the bright lights glow, they send for the quiet one they barely know. I walk in slow cleaner's coat, leave with nothing to show. You stand in the window where the hot wind blows. I live in the hallway, boy, and still walk home. I've seen kids just like you, leaning by the back room doors. Fresh shoes, fresh stories, same stains on the floor. They laugh at simple warnings, call it fear dressed up as age, till a thin file lands open with their picture on the page. You think they crave your temper, think they need your flair and flame, but the men who sign the ledgers barely memorize your name. They will ring this room one evening, say there's too much you have shown. Ask me like it's nothing to make sure you're never known. So listen once in quiet before you throw the rest away. Power isn't thunder, kid, it's how you leave the day. Quiet men write endings that the loud men never see. You can join the echoes, or you can move like me. When your noise draws heat and the bright lights glow, they send for the quiet one they barely know. I'll walk in slow with my head down low, living by the cleaner's code, leave with nothing to show. If you keep painting targets everywhere you go, you'll meet me in a doorway you don't wanna know.
Keep my life on, there no common rewards. I keep my name off the door as I choose a road over love. Go and keep my name off the door with a number running on my road. A suitcase by the dresser shirt and tied across the drawer. There's a notepad by the Bible, a little logo of a star, pen cap on the table, ink stain in a coffee scar. I write your name and cross it out, let the letters touch the floor. I've lived a long time making sure my name stayed off the door. I wore tailored in the boardroom, sat in back rooms just the same. Half the books were for the courthouse, half were written for the game. Signed a dozen different papers, never once my true hand shown. Every deal had someone softer standing out there as a face alone. You would ask me what I did, I'd say just numbers, nothing more. Kept you out of nights with men who never used the lobby door. You deserved a quiet kitchen, I kept meetings after dark. Trading promises for payments with a steady care for more. Now this road reads like a ledger with 1,000 unpaid lines, and my heart is just a margin where your name keeps crossing mine. So I keep my name off the door, leave the room paid in cash, and I don't come back no more. I'm the shadow in the lobby they pretend they never saw, walking out before the morning shakes the dust from every floor. I can love you from a distance, like a letter in a drawer, but I keep my life on the road and my name off the door. Gas receipt is folded in the pocket of my coat. Map is creased to where the highway wraps around a quiet note. There's a diner by the exit with a counter, chrome and steam, where I watch the younger drifters wearing pieces of my dream. I could turn this car around, drive back into what we had, let you see the man behind the ledges, not the mask. I made my habit bad, but the phone sits on the bedside, little red light counting time, and the silence in between us is the last thing still of mine. Don't mistake this for surrender, I'm not running from the cause, I'm just choosing where the damage lands, what gets kept and what gets lost. Better I fade in the rear view than you live with what I've done. So I'll take the weight and distance, you can keep the morning sun. So I keep my name off the door, leave a key on the counter and my prints on nothing more. I'm the suit that never checked and under any honest law, driving out before the daylight starts to show you what I saw. If you ever think about me when you hear an engine roar, just know I kept you in my heart and my name off the door. Concrete, hands tucked in your coat, talking like you're ready for the weight around my throat. You say you want the phone calls when the brave ones
step aside to be the name they dial when they've got no place to hide. You like the way I'm posted, where the echoes never reach, but you ain't seen the marks beneath the polish and the speed. There's a sedan in the corner with the engine ticking down, trunk still warm from back roads far outside this restless town. On the pillow by your shoulder, someone carved a crooked crown. Overhead the traffic rumbles like a far-off metal sound. You're asking for directions to the place where I've been living, but I paved that little kingdom with the sins I'm still not given. You think silence is a weapon you can hang around your neck. You don't feel the way it cuts when there's no one left to check. You don't want the quiet man. Keep all the names, all the nights that we never let speak. I'm the one that turns the handle while the rest just fall asleep. But you don't want what the quiet man keep. Every secret is a stone in a wall without a door. You step in here with hunger, you step out, now you no more. I folded motel towels with the sunrise in my face, wiped a trail of muddy footprints from a lonely leaving place. Pulled tape off cardboard boxes in a storage under lights. Found a wallet, found a ring, slid them out of other sights. I know which bridge they favor when they're running out of time. I just drive the empty highway with their story under mine. I don't beg for any mercy, I don't chase this city's grace. I just keep my steering steady, keep my name in its own place. If you step across this line, kid, you won't ever really sleep. You'll be paid in steady breathing while the pictures still run deep. You don't want what the quiet man keep. All the calls after midnight when the concrete feels too deep. I'm the last one in the stairwell and the first to make it neat. But you don't want what the quiet man keep. Every promise is a weight, every favor hides a score. You think you're walking taller, you're just sweeping one floor more. You don't want what the quiet man keep. state seat is warm and smooth, where 1,000 stories sat. Neon clock above the platform blinked and never answered back. I stepped on with one small duffel, kept my shoulders loose and straight, left the echoes in the station, and the dogs to guard the gate. Now the carriage hums and shivers like a wire under strain. Overhead a tired strip light draws a halo round my name. Ticket folded in my jacket, just a print in black and white. Paid for every line I crossed between your kitchen and the night. You lean against the counter, barefoot on the faded tile, pouring coffee in that chip cup with that half-amused slow smile. You kept asking what I carried through the pockets of my day. I kept answering with silence, and the debts I'd have to pay. You deserve a quiet Sunday, not a fist that splits the air, not a stranger at your doorway asking who has lived in there. So I packed up all my secrets, all the names that burn and turn. Said I'm underneath this seat with my ticket, no return. There's a line between a man who leaves and one who runs in fear. I chose steel beneath my boots instead of waiting for them here. Got a ticket with no return. I don't crawl back when the bridge is burned. If this train keeps rolling, let the old life fade. I'll pay my dues alone for the moves I made. I'm not asking for forgiveness, that's a road I never earned. I just cash in what I've taken on a ticket with no return. Outside, fields and rusted sidings slide like ghosts across the glass. Empty platforms, single benches where the midnight hours pass. Phone is dark inside my pocket, your last message frozen there. Every word you never said still hanging quiet in the air. Somewhere down this line's a small town that won't ask from where I came. Just a room above a storefront and a number, not a name. I'll keep working in the shadows where the noise can't touch your door. Let the stories die out slowly on a track they can't explore. Never bring the wolves home just to prove how far you climb. Never let the ones you love wear the interest on your crimes. Never trade a peaceful morning for a loud and borrowed throne. If you wanna walk with darkness, you walk into it alone. Got a ticket with no return. Let the whispers fall behind each turn. If this train keeps rolling, let the old debts call. They can carve my name in silence I still stand tall. I'm not looking for redemption. I know exactly what I've earned. I just keep my code unbroken. With this ticket, no return. Last train out of this city hums soft along the rail, fluorescent on the platform roof, cold light on every nail. I've got a suitcase on the bench, ticket folded in my hand, boots dusted from a lifetime of refusing what they planned. Loudspeaker keeps on talking like it knows the way I move, calling numbers, calling endings like it's daring me to prove. I take the corner table in a narrow sleeper car, tasty cup of bitter coffee, glass door holding one dim star. Your picture in my wallet leans against a folded note, half a line I never finished, half a truth I never wrote. If I left it on your pillow, you'd hear more than I could say. So I'm sending you this distance from 100 miles away. You love the man and all that armor, not the stains beneath the steel. I still keep the word I gave you, even when I choose to leave. This is the last train under my name. I paid for this ticket with my name. I will carry what I did. You don't have to bear that flame. When these wheels cut through the dark, I stay standing all the same. This is the last train under my name. There's a shadow in the aisle seat where a stranger should have been, like a chair at our old table no one ever settled in. I remember how you watched me count the exits in a room, hands around your coffee cup, eyes pretending not to bloom. You'd
deserve a hallway where the footsteps mean you're home, not a life of reading danger in a distant ringing phone. I don't fold and I don't beg, I don't hand my coat away. Every promise that I made is the way I choose to stay. But the life that built my legend stains the ones who stand too near. So I'm drawing you a clean line, pulling mine back out of here. This is the last train under my name. I paid for this ticket with my name. I'll stay loyal to the ghosts and the cold unspoken game, but I won't let the road I chose write its scars across your frame. When the dawn cuts up the fields, I'll step off this track the same. On the last train under my name. Dick slammed low on the glass, city bleeding through the blinds. Your name glowing on the screen, cursor waiting for my lines. Suit jacket on the chair back, tie coiled like a fuse. Ledger open by my elbow, pages heavy with the truth. There's a steel key in my pocket for a door behind this wall, where the smiles and handshakes end and the quiet numbers fall. I type, I miss your laughter, watch the letters slowly build, then drag them to the trash because this room runs on words killed. On the surface I'm the man who signs the contracts and the deals. All the marble in the lobby tells a story of how it feels. But behind that frosted doorway there's a safe that never sleeps. Folders stacked in metal drawers, secrets filed in careful heaps. I've watched men in tailored coats fold like paper in the set. Closed a briefcase on a silence no good heart should have to bear. You say you want the whole me, every shadow, every scar, but you don't know how far it is from your little coffee bar. If you ever cross this threshold, you'd never walk back out the same. There's a line inside this office and it's carved under my name. So the door stays locked, that's the deal I made. I keep the wolves in order, keep the trouble in the shade. I'm the gentleman in gray they shake hands with on the floor, but the man you think you love lives behind another door. I can hold this tower steady till the city clocks all stop. If I want you untouched, then the door
feet. We talked about leaving someday, just a map and open sky, before my name went on the letterhead and trouble learned to fly. Now my cufflinks click like shackles every time I fold my sleeves, and the phones on this dark desk no more ghosts than you believe. You send me, are you sleeping? Are you okay? Are you alone? I stare at that blue question in the half-light of this room. I don't trade your soft days for a plaque beside this door. I already pay enough to walk these polished floors. I won't pull you through a keyhole built of favors, fear and debt. Won't let your gentle kindness be the margin someone sets. If I have to stand the villain in the silence of your mind, better that than see you bruised by the deals I have to sign. So the door stays locked, though the city calls your name. I keep my thumb off sin and my shadow in the frame. I'm the gentleman in gray, signing lines they never see, and the only one who bends is the man behind the key. I can hold this tower steady till the elevator drops. If I want you whole, then the door stays locked.
You're leaning on the concrete, hands tucked in your coat, talking like you're ready for the weight around my throat. You say you want the phone calls when the brave ones step aside, to be the name they dial when they've got no place to hide. You like the way I'm posted where the echoes never reach, but you ain't seen the marks beneath the polish and the speech. There's a sedan in the corner with the engine ticking down, trunk still warm from back roads far outside this restless town. On the pillar by your shoulder, someone carved a crooked crown. Overhead the traffic rumbles like a far-off metal sound. You're asking for directions to the place where I've been living, but I paved that little kingdom with the sins I'm still not given. You think silence is a weapon you can hang around your neck. You don't feel the way it cuts when there's no one left to check. You don't want what the quiet men keep, all the names, all the nights that we never let speak. I'm the one that turns a handle while I've folded motel towels with the sunrise in my face, wiped a trail of muddy footprints from a lonely leaving place, pulled tape off cardboard boxes in a storage under lights, found a wallet, found a ring, slid them out of other sights. I know which bridge they favor when they're running out of time. I just drive the empty highway with their story under mine. I don't beg for any mercy, I don't chase this city's grace. I just keep my steering steady, keep my name in its own place. If you step across this line, kid, you won't ever really sleep. You'll be paid in steady breathing while the pictures still run deep. You don't want what the quiet men keep, all the calls after midnight when the concrete feels too deep. I'm the last one in the stairwell and the first to make it neat. But you don't want what the quiet men keep. Every promise is a weight, every favor hides a score. You think you're walking taller, you're just sweeping one floor more.
Black phone started ringing on the dresser by my coat. Same low humming pattern that means someone's losing hope. I slid the drawer, checked the metal, left it sleeping in its place. Just a key ring, folded paper, and a cold look on my face. Hallway light was ticking, one weak bulb above the stair. Concrete steps kept every footprint of the nights I laid things bare. Locked the door behind me softly, turned the deadbolt with my thumb. Heard the quiet of this building ask what kind of man I'd become. He was waiting in the lot, hood up, smoking, thinning air. Duffel bag beside his bumper, like a truth he couldn't wear. He said, I know I made it messy, but you've always had my back. One more time, just pull your strings and make the heat forget my tracks. We rolled slow onto the highway, needle steady 82. Street lights sliding down the windshield like the years I pulled him through. He tried laughing about the small time, crooked hands and little scores. I just watched the empty exit that would not be ours no more. I'm the quiet name they whisper when the story can't be told. I can wipe a stain from paper, but I can't rewrite the soul. There's no more I'll ever mercy stops at the bridge. That's the border of my grace. We eased up by the river, engine ticking out its heat. Faded paint across the pavement, open water at our feet. A low freight horn in the distance, one dim barge lamp drifting slow, like the ghosts of every favor sliding underneath the flow. He said, brother, don't you leave me, you're the only one who can. And his fingers dug my shoulder like a drowning reaching hand. I just opened up the duffel, saw the weight of what he'd done, zipped it shut and set it gently on the line we stood upon. There are young wolves in this city who think debts don't have an end, trade tomorrow for tonight and lean too heavy on a friend. I have carried other secrets, but I won't carry yours inside. Some mistakes belong to rivers, some confessions to the tide. I'm the man you call at midnight when your halo's turning gray. I can shift a few cold numbers, move a shadow out of day, but my mercy stops at the bridge. Past that stripe you walk alone. When the river keeps your story, it's no longer one I own. I can hold this whole dark city in a ledger line and page. Still my mercy stops at the bridge. That's the price behind my wage.
Fluorescent halo on the pumps, moths throwing bodies at the light. Paper cup of bitter coffee cooling on the hood tonight. Highway humming in the distance like a warning under glass. Motel sign across the roadside blinks and stutters as cars pass. Got a map rolled in the glove box, got a duffel on the seat. Got a quiet on this dashboard where your laughter used to be. I just closed the door on something that the papers won't explain. Left a building full of answers, left some money in a stain. There were faces at that table who don't ever lose a hand. I just smiled and took my cut, then drove it out of their command. You're at home with all the lights on, thinking I walked off your name, but I'm out here buying distance so it never hits your frame. You were begging me to stay there, said you'd take the shadow too, but I've seen what happens later.
streetlights start to die, know I carved your peace and quiet with this gas station alibi. Motel key is in my pocket, little brass that feels like lead. Room out back with faded curtains, boat that barely holds a bed. There's a note I didn't write, you folded where my wallet sits. Every sentence turned to metal, so I spared you from the hits. License plate is streaked with insects, trunk still smells like older nights. I've been washing off the evidence in small anonymous lights. I've seen men who love like cowards drag their women through their debt, watch them drink away the daylight, cashing in what love they get. I got ghosts that ride beside me, but they answer when I call. If I ever cross your doorway, it'll be on terms I hold. So I leave my trail at this gas station alibi. Let the cameras catch a stranger and the records tell a lie. I will carry what I carry, I will drive it down the line. You can sleep without the sirens trying to claim you as a sign. If you ever taste the distance when the dawn cuts through the sky, know I signed your name in freedom with this gas station alibi. Resting home in the hallway, long row of lockers on my right, badge on a hook in the middle, gun in a drawer out of sight, styrofoam cup on the counter, coffee dried into a ring, case file stacked by the exit, red stamps telling me what to bring, clock above the steel detector blinking one past dead of night. I thumb the switch on the light bank, leave one strip of ceiling light. I've walked this place in a uniform, I've walked it with no name at all, shook hands in the back staircase, took calls in the basement hall. Sometimes I move a schedule, sometimes I move a list of doors, trade a knock for quiet footsteps so a man can clear his floors. I write reports that lean a little, tilt the picture just enough, supposed to own you, keep you bolted to one track. But I learned to feel the handle, pull it forward, pull it back. Every rule they wrote around me turned to links I learned to see. Now I'm walking with that chain folded quiet into me. I keep a leash on the law, drag it slow when I decide. Choose which doors get kicked wide open, which can keep their secrets tight. I'm the calm behind the siren, I'm the hand that checks the key. I can tilt the scales at midnight and walk out like I'm still free. I was not in flesh and metal, just to prove what you can draw. It's in holding back the thunder with a leash on the law. Concrete pillars in a garage, yellow numbers on the stone, tail lights dripping down the ramp, someone pacing on their phone, manila folder on my front seat, rubber band about to snap, one more name that bought a favor, one more line I let unwrap, underpass along the river, rusted railings, seeping seams, boots on gravel, distant traffic, like a low mechanical stream. There was a night they tagged a kid I knew by another name. I could have slid his folder sideways, let the river take the blame. But I'd cashed his last 3 chances, keeping heat off where he stayed. So I watched them close that jacket, that's a debt I never paid. I keep a leash on the law, yeah, but it keeps a leash on me. Every file I've ever twisted rides along where I can see. I'm the shadow in the doorway when the lights are burning raw. I can tilt the world at midnight, but I answer to that claw. Power's not in walking spotless, like you never saw the flaw. It's in owning what you've been, when you put a leash on the law. bottles, chairs flipped up in a row. Neon in the front room, humming soft and low. You wipe down the counter, ask if I need one more. I say I already had too many nights like this before. My jacket's on the stool leg, my tie's a tired line. My badge is in a drawer uptown, but the gun's still on my spine. I walk both sides of the hallway, between concrete cups and cash. Filed the clean reports at noon, took the quiet drops of cash. I knew every backstair exit from the precinct to the street. Every number in the ledger matched the face I had to meet. And my partner, he believed me when I called that hallway clear. Never saw the silent bargain breathing right behind his chair. He caught the way I hesitated when the phone lit up that night. Said, "You sure we're not the ones who end up framed inside this fight?" I shrugged it off and kept on walking, but his eyes stayed on my hand, where the ink from dirty memos never really left my skin or stand. And now there's a badge in the drawer and his name on the stone. I'm the law that I learned to whisper with the deals I made alone. I can hide a man in paper, I can lose him in a file, still talk straight into a camera with a flat and steady smile. But this badge in the drawer and this ghost at my side say a man who walks both hallways doesn't get a place to hide. There was a glass on the station tires when they rolled him down the hall, just a chalk line by the lockers where he used to take my calls. For a city that was drowning in its own forgotten sins, while I balanced out the numbers, letting certain devils win. Now it's me in this back room and the rag across your hand, and the echo of his questions in these empty stools that stand. I'm not asking you for mercy, I still know how to aim. I just stack too many favors underneath another name. If I walk in when the sirens paint the ceiling red and white, do I burn the keys I'm holding or just disappear from sight? Can lock them out of mine, but I'm done selling out brothers just to keep my record line. Yeah, this badge in the drawer, the look in his eyes say a man who walks both hallways has to pick which one he rides. Station clock near midnight, platform humming soft and low, neon buzzing by the kiosk, throwing bruises in the snow. Suitcase waiting by my boot heel, ticket folded in my hand. Conductor checks it without asking what I carved into this land. Paper cup of coffee cooling by the trash can. Near the door, every ghost I left in alleys knows I'm not theirs anymore. Take the middle steps in silence, feel the carriage shake and ring. Window holds a tired stranger framed in steel and city grime. Warehouse lights along the siding blink like debts that learn to hide. I can trace each little empire that I built along this ride. I taught money how to travel, turned back rooms into a chain. Now I'm cutting loose the circuit, letting go of my own reign. I don't leave because I'm beaten, I don't run because I'm scared. I just know the price of waiting when the table's overshared. I'm on the last train under my name, rolling out into the dark, leaving this city like a secret, taking back my beating heart. I won't beg it for forgiveness, it won't ask me why I came. I'm on the last train under my name, under my name. Headrest fabric smells of strangers, someone scratched a word inside. I run fingers through the letters like a message out of time. In the glass I see the skyline finally losing all its teeth. Every bridge I ever bargained slides like cards from underneath. I remember quiet offices, heavy doors and measured lies. All the faces round the table when they felt me draw my line. City, you can keep your sirens, you can crown some other king. You can dress a younger hustler, let him wear my old steel ring. But don't stare my cold with stories, don't rewrite the way I stood. I am leaving by decision, not by rumor, not by flood. I'm on the last train under my name, rolling past your rusted frame. Let the young ones There's a plastic key on the nightstand with a crooked metal ring. Room number on a paper tag, faded like a wedding ring. Thin curtains breathe against the window when a truck goes crawling by. Ice machine down by the stairwell keeps on coughing through the night. Got a map spread on this mattress, coffee cooling by my knee. Phone face down beside the Bible that the owner left for free. Write your name across the first line, then I stop and draw a scene, trying to fold down a lifetime to a letter you won't see. You remember backroom meetings when I always walked in last, how the jokes would die mid-sentence when my shadow finally passed. I have smiled across the table while a storm broke down the hall, kept my hands clean in the doorway while they settled every call. Every favor that I'm owed now has a marker on its trail. Every debt I left unspoken is a weight that will not fail. If I let you keep your porch light burning, waiting up for me, all that pressure finds your doorway, and that's something I won't see. So I fold this letter slowly like I fold a losing hand. Love is not the only language that a man like me must stand. I'm your highway gentleman, leaving footprints in the dust. Keep my name out of your mailbox, keep your world away from rust. I was never built for doorbells or a fence and matching key. I'm the shadow in your rear view when the road won't let you see. If I vanish with the tail lights long before the morning's on, just remember that I loved you like a man who had to run. I can picture you in silence with the radio turned low, turning down the boiling kettle while the evening windows glow. There'll be someone in that doorway who can answer when you call, someone who can hang his jacket by the hook in the front hall. He won't read these motel carpets, won't know exits by their sign, won't see warning in the numbers painted down the highway line. He will sleep through distant engines, never feel this narrow room, never pace between a mirror and a parking lot of gloom. Men like me don't keep our promises in frames upon a wall. We keep distance like a shelter so the weight won't make you fall. Code is something that you follow when it cuts your heart in two, when the safest thing I offer is a world that's far from you. I'm your highway gentleman, disappearing past the lights, trading everything I wanted for your quiet, safer nights. I was never built for Sundays or a swing beneath that tree. I'm the figure on the shoulder where the road won't let you see. When you stand out on the porch and feel the wind before the dawn, know I'm somewhere on the blacktop driving all my ghosts along. concrete, sweating cold under sodium light. We're 2 floors down from the noise of the night. Your hands in your pockets, new shoes on old oil, trying to look easy while your blood wants to boil. The elevator door is closed, leave the world upstairs. Here is just engines ticking and the echo of your cares. I lean by the pillar where the cameras never see. You say you want the quiet life, you came to learn from me. I've walked this ramp alone more times than I can count. Car trunks, slim briefcases, quiet weight by the ounce. I watch men sell their future for a roll of folded notes. Seen steady eyes go frantic when the heat climbs up their throats. They call me when the shouting's done, something must be done. When every loud mouth in the room remembers I'm the one. I don't raise my voice, I just close one more door. Leave a hallway a shade cleaner than it was before. You think silence is simple, just a calm, unread face, but it taxes every heartbeat and it rewrites what you chase. This is a silent man's code. Move slow, hit hard, stay small. No names, no noise, no picture on the wall. You walk like a shadow with your back against the glow. Count exits, count faces, let the loud ones run the show. Let them drink to their legends, let them drown in what they wrote. Leaving the space is bound to a silent man's code. Come smiling with a brighter, wider stage. Say the city needs your talent, put your name across the page. They'll hand you sharper weapons, heavier keys to bigger gates. Promise you're untouchable, that only small men feel the weight. That's when you remember concrete, oil and humming lights, the value carved inside yourself on this quiet night. If you can't leave a job behind without your fingers holding steady, you were never built for living where the ground is never ready. Never meet a contact where the floorboards shift or speed. Never let a stranger guess exactly what you see. Never map your family on the same roads as your trade. Never take a folded favor you can't watch being repaid. You learn to move in silence, you learn to bleed in cold. You learn which part of you still walks each time you hit the road. This is a silent man's code. Steel eyes, slow breath, firm stride. Let the sirens chase the story while you vanish to the side. You don't beg for their attention, you don't need them to applaud. You just keep your circle narrow and your footprints close to God. If you stand past your 30s with your secret secret still untold. It's 'cause you paid every hour to a silent man's code. Last call lights are hanging like tired halos over glass. Bar stools standing empty where the noise of evening passed. I'm parked down at the far end with my shoulder on the wood. Badge resting on the counter where the shadows look the good. Condensation on a tumbler leaves a circle in the grain. Neon hums above the bottles like a low electric vein. Through the window by the jukebox you can watch the river slide, carrying the city's secrets under that old iron spine. I climb stairwells that smell like bleach and old fear in the grout. One hand on the railing, one hand keeping something out. Files on my desk say justice in a neat and printed line, but the truth is in the phone calls that don't make the overtime. Some nights I keep the envelope, some nights I make it burn. Some faces get a warning, some faces never learn. I answer to a captain, to the street and to my name. 3 different hungry ledgers pulling on the same chain. I'm the man with the questions and the keys to every door. Every favor that I answer locks another board to the floor. So I lay my badge on the bar when I drink with the dark. Let the city see its reflection in the metal and the mud. I'm the law in a suit with a stain you'll never charge. Half the savior, half the problem, still I own my crooked heart. When this town needs a whisper or a quiet walking scar, it comes looking for the hand that leaves a badge upon the bar. I've seen tape across the doorway like a cheap yellow crown. Heard a mother beg for answers while the cameras pinned her down. Dark lights blinking over water, thick and slow and black. Boot prints on a wet plank, never making it back. Sometimes I pull a kid aside, tell him take another street. Sometimes I turn a name in just to keep a wolf from eating me. If you think that makes me dirty, you were never in this room, where every move you don't make grows a different kind of bloom. Never sign a statement you'll be scared to read aloud. Never trust a smiling hand that always wants a crowd. Never drag the truly clean through your private little war. Never take a folded favor you can't drop onto this floor. Keep your still pays in silent currency for a badge left on the bar. Motel key still in my pocket, rubber gloves in the other hand, boot prints in the gravel, faint marks in the river sand, neon from a tired diner trembling on my jacket sleeve, trunk latch whisper shut behind me. That's a story I won't grieve. I walk beneath this old bridge, hear the water hold its breath. I'm the quiet name you died between a promise and a threat. I got bleach on worn out denim, folded tarp in the backseat, old clock in the lobby ticking like a nervous, guilty beat. Reception boy looked through me, took the cash and liked the light. Curtain barely stirred a finger when the shadows drifted by. Every time I leave a room, something walks with me a mile, but my shoulders stay in line and I still wear a measured smile. You talk about your loyalty like it wipes away the stain. I can read the things you're hiding in the scuffs along this lane. You only call me when it's too late, when the line's already crossed, when the truth is in the hallway and you're counting what you've lost. I don't ask you for a story, I just level out the slate. I'm the man you move in silence, you only call me when it's too late. Underpasses, quiet fences, empty lots that know my name, taillights fading in the distance like the memory of a flame. I could have been a shop man, counting boxes on a rack. Instead I count the doors I've closed and never once look back. a simple code. No kids, no cowards, no loose tongues. That's the line I never crossed in all the nights I've ever done. One night there'll be no number for you shaking in the dark. One night I won't take the call when you've already missed your mark. I'll be somewhere past this highway with these marks I chose to keep, rolling by some quiet station where the river falls asleep. You only call me when it's too late, when your courage starts to fade, when the mess is at your doorway and the debt can't be delayed. I don't ask you how it started, I just balance out your fate. I'm the last cold hand you bargain. You only call me when it's too late. You only call me when it's too late. And I still walk through that gate.